Livestream, how you doing? How you live? All right, it is Friday when I'm filming this. Whatever time it is. Don't ask me the time. I know the day at least. Let me stop. But seriously, I hope you guys are feeling as truthfully, truly, wholeheartedly amazing as you always are. All right, even on some of those bad days, right? I have to put the air quotes because long story short, all right, those two are part of the package here, the experience, okay? And they almost always lead up to something far greater that maybe without those experiences, you wouldn't have kind of made it to that type of level. You'll see what I'm talking about perhaps a few moments, maybe a few months from now, right? Long story short, you guys, it all matters. You matter. Your life matters. Makes sense. Okay, so even some of those days maybe you don't really want to talk about that you got through, still nonetheless should be celebrated, right? Ask me how I know. Okay, it's how I made it to today. Ta-da! And I'm still celebrating you guys. I hope you are saying and feeling and sharing in the same type of sentiment regarding what all you're facing and what all you're going through on your own path as well. All right. But happy Friday, you guys. Happy Friday. I know I was jamming to some tunes earlier today. I don't know what you guys were up to. Let me know. Love and light, Cassandra. Oh, thanks for sharing your love light, babe. And enjoy your time. No worries. But thank you for stopping in nonetheless. Much love and light to you. Much love and light to you all. All right. We're talking love tonight. We're talking three piles. All right. Pretty short and sweet. And we're gonna check with the OG names and chart placements deck. No worries. Check back later, Cassandra. No worries. Okay, it'll still be on the channel, I promise. All right, no worries there. Okay. That's what the channel's for, you guys. It's not like you have to catch the live as it's happening. But I really appreciate you guys wanting to. I mean, that's amazing. But I get it. So there's that. So I wanted to talk about a couple things before getting into the piles tonight, you guys. I really appreciate you coming in to the chat and spreading your love light the way that you've seen Cassandra do. And I really appreciate you guys just clicking the like and seeing what's up, right? What's going on with the channel, because it really doesn't work so well without you guys. So I wanted to make sure that I again express my thanks, because I mean, truthfully, sometimes I don't know, I'm amazed, how big we have grown and how strong we have become in spite of numbers and in spite of some of the other stuff that we talk about, rulers, principalities, dot dot dot, right? And all that jazz. Okay. And I just wanted to say, you know what, if no one seemingly authentically sees you, I see you guys in the spirit. Okay, I'm reading your cards, I'm reading the energy. And sometimes it can get repetitive on the channel. I'm not unmindful of that. However, please be mindful that if and when something seems to be a heavy vein that's hit from one session to the next, somebody's got to hear it. You know what I mean? And so that's okay too. It's good to know, and it's nice to talk about, quite frankly, that we're all somewhere on the path, right? We're not always standing neck and neck on the journey of ascension on in this game of life, as it were, right? So there's that. So thank you for your patience and just really just sticking it out with your girl. Lastly, I do want to make note of something else regarding the channel, and there will be many more changes. All right, Love and Light Country. Um, there will be many changes with this channel, and they're all positive. No worries. You guys maybe notice there's no more freaking ads. Okay. Long story short, I was hemming and hawing about some aspect of the partnership regarding how I wanted to set up the infrastructure in the way or ways that I would receive payment. And, I was praying, meditating, doing some research, but also trying to wear many hats. Okay. And so, long story short, I received a super chat, like finally, right? Like I'm all like, oh, thank you, And that person will remain nameless because I don't want anyone to misconstrue this. Like, this was all on, what I had and had not yet, like what I had built regarding the partnership, and then what I had yet to submit. And long story short, when I got that $2.99 super chat, man, we got demonetized. So, but the thing is, and really why I'm smiling is because that was such a blessing. Because had I really kind of said, all right, well, time's up on some aspect of this, let me just put in my info a certain way, it really just would not have been really much of a blessing on the back end of that. Long story short. And I will share more with you guys the more that I do know and learn, because now, I am in my own coursework, you guys, right? Um, yeah, they said, basically, because the super chat kicked back, I'm like public enemy number one anyhow, right? Spreading the truth and the love and the light. They're like, no way, you're like public enemy number one now. So, and you know what? Good on them, because it's no sweat off of my anything, right? Like literally is the case. So I could feel a little bit more freer in certain aspects as well. And so I really just kind of wanted to share that, joyfully. It's not a doom and gloom situation at all. In fact, it is hella protection. And so I'm grateful. So, I will be honest that, some aspects of some of the things that I will be in the throes of learning feel, if I'm being honest, daunting. So please send your girl some love light, because I really do have to roll up my sleeves here now, and figure some things out, and it's just interesting the way life works, and you got to take it, either on the chin or off the cuff or all in stride, and just make it work and keep going. And so I'm being, open and honest about the situation, not because I'm a victim. I'm very much not a victim. And so I don't want anyone to feel sad or feel bad. I want you guys to take notes. Okay. And again, as I learn more, because I do understand that there are a few creators in the collective as well. And not everybody's going to tell you, hey, I was in this situation, and here's how to make sure that you set this up so that you're not in that kind of situation. And this is just me outing myself, essentially, as yet again an example. I tell you guys, we're all somewhere on the path, right? Me freaking too, you guys. Okay. It also doesn't make it any easier that, it's literally giving, like, me in spirit here. Like, I don't, normally have someone to, use as some form of resource, to go to someone that has a certain type of knowledge, this, that, and the third. It's usually been, uh, a heavy, theme in my life that, you know, God, the universe, sources just kind of looked at me like, no, you've got this kind of thing. So I don't really know exactly how all, some of these next steps will pan out, but I can give you guys a heads up that, along with, the dynamics of what I do know I need to now start building, there will be changes, okay, and potentially inclusive of the name of the channel. So I really wanted to address that, openly, honestly, and, on a personal note, so that you guys, don't feel like something odd is going on with the channel, or that, now there's not some form of, like, uh, how do I say? I just don't want you guys to feel like all of a sudden something that we do through these sessions doesn't feel safe or is confusing, because I don't rock with that kind of vibe, that kind of density, that kind of spirit, that kind of energy, very well. And so I do, I mean, I'd like to believe I do my due diligence when appropriate, when necessary, to kind of clear those things up. And just, open communication is my motto. So so there's that, so that you heard it from my mouth, right? But you know what, I kind of looked at it like, good for you guys, the less kind of stuff you've got to hear about and intake, because I didn't necessarily, stand for everything that was being communicated in those advertisements. And so, along with some of the changes, I will be checking out some other platforms as well, because again, I I don't want to come on here and necessarily be as restricted as a lot of the content creators seem to be, especially those speaking truth on certain types of platforms. And I'll just leave it at that. Okay. So please don't feel bad. Don't worry. And please know I really appreciate those that really are rocking with me with the channel, with the messages that often come through the channel. I'm honored to be a part of this, and I'm honored just the same to have you be a part of this. We're doing it together, like I stated. So so there's that. And other than that, I feel like I just wanted to, again, because there's some people in here that maybe weren't right at the beginning, explain that again tonight we are talking love. Okay. And guess what? Here's the fun part. Who cares if you know them or not? Okay. Some of you'll be sitting there going, oh no, I know that's Roger, and I know that's Diedrich, and I know that's Terry. I get it. And that's fine. Like, I love that for you. If it's resonating, and it's resonating, regarding some of the channel aspect of, that's definitely your person, or that's definitely you. I love that for you. That's why I'm here. Okay. But to be clear, anyone can get anything from most of these piles. Pile one felt really personal, so I feel like that's far reach to be like, yes, everyone can get, not gonna lie. But hey, I'm not here to manipulate the cards. Okay. It just is what it is. All right. But I do have a generalized message for all of us. Okay. It was given to me for each and every one of us. Okay. And I do want to get into that before I get started into the piles. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you that particular message, and then I'm going to share with you actually, no, I should do it this way so you have time. All right, so pile number one, okay, is going to be this pliable sticker. You guys, how cute, for the month of October, right? This juicy strawberry pumpkin or pretend pumpkin thing, like, it's so cutie. So could be some significance to that. I'm not endorsing that, just, it's cute, and felt like I should use it. It's October. All right. Pile number two, we have this cutie little kitty. Meow. All right, so that's pile number two. And pile number three, ooh, we have this majestic blue jay feather. Okay. So I will let you simmer with those. Okay. From pile one to three, you can choose. You don't have to. Maybe there's something in all of them for you. Okay. I'm not here to restrict you. Okay. That's not me. I could name some names. No, let me stop. But anywho, all right. So getting into the general message, the general energy for tonight. Okay, for every single honey bun in this collective. All right, listen up. Your energy is sacred. All right, so that was one of the cards. I pulled one of the cards out of each of the decks used tonight, irregardless of the pile, right? Consulted the same type of decks. And honestly, this was the message after I pulled from one pile to the next. At the end, this was the message for everyone. Okay. So, friendly reminder again, your energy is sacred, and you are, with this divine communicative number three, very much in co creation energy with source, with spirit, with the divine. All right. With God, with goddess, however you subscribe here. Okay. And you do have intuitive abilities, whether you consider yourself a psychic medium in some form of professional manner. Okay. You've got giftings here. I'm also hearing to say they have been and will be heightening. Okay. Could be some significance to that candlelight energy, is really the candle and the crystal are glowing. Okay. So maybe you want to connect with candles and crystals in your current energy. And last but certainly not least, and I'm thinking, okay, Bubba, do I gotta cover up that nip? Yes, I do. He was ready. Last but certainly not least, you guys, I know it's a little glary. You are worthy. All right. So, irregardless of whether you know that you have someone coming right now in current energies or not, the divine knows, and ultimately divine timing is definitely um part of that experience. Okay, I mean, who are you to say otherwise, right? Long story short, so you guys think about the piles. I have gone ahead and rung the bell, all right, because we've been on here for like a few minutes, and I'm mindful that it is kind of late, kind of sorta. So if anyone does have a question, please enter it into the chat box now. According to the live stream rules, please and thank you, you guys. All right. Love and light Fiona. Love and light eat me. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but at the same time, I wasn't really. It's like the money that was in my account was like negligible. Like it was like, okay, yeah, like, and long story short, the way that that infrastructure for the payment would have been set up, and I don't want to say too much right now, but I will definitely on the back end of this be sharing as much as I'm able to, because y'all know how I roll. Sharing's caring, and so there's that. But being very protective over my channel at this time, as well as my energy. So hopefully you guys get where I'm going with that. But I got you on the back end, I promise. Okay. Let me learn. You know what I mean? As I learn, then I'm able to share. That's one thing about me. I don't really like to talk too much about things I don't feel confident on my actual knowledge about. I mean, aside from channeling, because I've channeled some shit, I'm like, damn, like I had to cross reference and check it myself, like, wow, that's on the back end. But like just me, like, speaking to anyone in general, like I'm really not, because I don't like when people try to talk to me about stuff and it's like you clearly don't know, and you all on top of it know that you don't know, but you just want to say words like, and it's funny, like we can think about like people from the broke, busted, and disgusted type of community, like you a buster. But I'm not even I'm talking about supposed educated, learned people in high places. It's like, man, I would rather hear that from puppets, like whatever, make it make sense. So, but yeah, thank you for trusting. That's why I was like, I want to be open and honest about this process so y'all don't feel like you're slighted in some sort of way or something is no longer like safe. Because I don't like to feel those energies. Like if something feels bad, I'm usually communicating about that to the source. Usually, if it's especially if it's like a connection that I care to maintain, because it's like without that I don't see that being a connection. Do you know what I mean? So I try to treat people, places, and things, I really do, the way that I want to be treated, the way that I know I am worthy to be treated, kind of thing. So um and it's funny that that card came out because I was speaking to someone earlier today, and I was alchemizing through some energies. Whoo, between the parasite cleanse, the demonetization, and some other things that I don't really want to speak of. Tell you, okay? And I was talking about that. You know what? I was going to bring this to my collective as well, since we have some time. Um, I'm only sharing again because I don't want anyone to feel like no one else gets them or no one else gets this. Okay, so please bear with me. This is not a like let's pity for love session. Okay, to be clear, I'm not a victim, right? I also am learning and growing with you guys. Okay, and I am transparent, when necessary. Okay, and this is one of those times, obviously. But I was talking about how even in the spiritual community, it's not really talked about, where like, okay, you do all this work, right? Like shadow work. You guys saw that post. If you guys did not see that post, check that. That shit was so funny. It was like a mask clearly like Halloween related, but at the same time I was like, damn, if shadow work had a mask, like if you had to make a mask or find a mask online that represented something like shadow work can feel. Oh my goodness. And you gotta laugh, right? But just working through alchemizing this, that, and the third, it can get really frustrating because it's like I have already been here. I've already been in these rooms in my mind. I've already looked at this scenario that happened in my childhood. I have already like forgiven. I have already, and like I don't know what you guys were all going through because I was not, on here reading for you like that. I could not be. All right. That parasite cleanse alone was like, whew, like rebirth. Okay. So to be clear, and I actually, I did a couple videos, even like from the bed, just because I love you guys and I love to stay connected, but I just could not perform, like top tier performance. And I'm not here to come on and like F up the readings with my own energy. Do you know what I mean? So, but I was speaking with somebody earlier and I'm like, it's not talked about often in the spiritual community, like on the back end of doing this work, that the reward is potentially at least just as painful, like, and not in the sense of nonsensical pain, but in the sense of just being honest about it. Like, it's not all roses and candy. And you guys know I don't sugarcoat much over here, especially on the other side of that cleanse. No, let me stop. But anyways, you guys know what I'm saying. And so I just wanted to make note of like, hey, I get it in case anyone was out there wondering, because we all have times of questioning, right? And so if you can resonate with that, please know I'm giving you a big old hug, okay? And I'm rooting for all of us, as I always do. You guys know that. Even if I have to tell you, some of those harsher truths, I'm loving you every step of the way, every moment, okay? That's my heart's intention. Okay. So thank you for those that get that about your girl, right? And let me see who's got a question. All right, let's see. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. Don't be nervous cuz you just hoo, hoo, hoo. um not gonna lie, if you're doing it, like, I don't know exactly if you're saying parasite cleanse, right? But um you just gonna how like people in the religious community would say, you're just gonna get with God for a few days. You're just gonna get with the Lord. And just be the observer. That's another key and, dare I say, sound word of advice. Be the observer and love your body, right? Talk to your body. Like, I mean, even Dolores Cannon's she's in videos from however moons ago talking about literally your body is like your own universe. Like, you speak to it and it will flourish. You don't have to talk bad about your body just because society allows that. If you want to, it's not something you should do, right? And the more that you talk to your body, the more that you're grateful for your body, the better your body responds. Like, could you imagine understanding that everything has intelligence? Okay, but then at the same time you never ever acknowledge the intelligence of your body. It's freaking biotech, man. Like, how would you not understand more about that? And really, I do know how. You check out, you avoid, go for some of those self-gratifying, experiences and the like. However, we now know that's not the highest vibe way, babe, right? Especially where we're going. Okay. You know what? Speaking of Dolores Cannon, you guys, real quick, I saw a video the other night and she said something about how, like, in around this time, like, with like the global ascension, that a lot of us would almost inexplicably take to more things like smoothies and stuff like that right now, right? And like, I she didn't say cleanses, but I mean it makes sense too, because when you're cleansing, you're having smoothies and stuff often. Maybe not always, but And she said that eventually she was told through some of those sessions that we eventually wouldn't even eat. And I was like, yes, because I low-key have been like praying for that since like I saw the Jetsons. You know what I mean? Like, were a thing, or they had those pills. Because I was just like, man, sometimes you don't want to take the time to eat. You know what I mean? Like, it can be a little uncomfortable. Like, sometimes you have to go eat, and that means you have to eat with other people that you don't know, and or you prefer not to break bread near, like, let alone with. You know what I mean? Like, in New York, I mean, they stack. If you go into any like eatery, right, it doesn't matter how much it costs per plate. They're stacking your ass like from damn near hip bone to hip bone, right? And I get it. There's demographic reasons for that, and blah 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 blah. But it comes down to that restaurant intending to get the most bang for their, the amount of rent that they're paying, right? Most bang for your buck, as it were. Okay, I doubt it's to help us make more friends, but I also do realize that depending on the demographical area, there may be more of a need for stacking so that people aren't outside breaking the windows saying, feed me, right? But I'm one of those people, you guys, in case you can tell, my personal space bubble was huge. Like, don't even insert your eyeball up in this too much, because I'm gonna have to tell you, like, I feel that and stop it. It's not cool. you know? Um, so Lovely Cat Goddess. Oh, yeah, AdSense basically sent an email and they were like, we kicked this back. And then I went in the account, like I went into like the creator part for YouTube, which is different than AdSense. I get that. And YouTube was like, yeah, you're a partner. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's something weird with AdSense, like I don't know, like their system got a little weird or something. And then like 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, Google was like, so you probably already saw the email from AdSense. You're demonetized. I was just like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. And I felt bad because I was out with a friend, and I know that it was a situation where like they especially were out like to make sure that I was like able to have fun, because the way that my life is structured currently, I don't necessarily get that luxury with another actual person with a heart kind of thing. Like, it's rare. It has happened, it will again, right? But it's rare. So and I felt bad because I was like a little bit taken back at first, not gonna lie. I was like, what? And I'm like nowhere near the studio. Like, I don't even know what is going on right now. And it felt bad because I was like, I don't like to do things wrong, incorrectly, or just, less than what I know I'm capable of. But I was just like, you know what? Learn and let go, and I literally have to do that. I let go, and now I really have to learn some things. So, but hey, that is part and parcel of leadership. So, I mean, who am I to be like, oh, what do you mean? I've got to learn. I mean, I teach all the time, and even off of camera, off of this platform, right? And so, it just is what it is. But I wanted you all to know that I'm fine, and I really didn't. I do feel bad for some of those creators where it's like this happens for like whatever other reason, and they're like, all of my monetization went away, but they're acting like they lost 125K, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, 20 bucks, no sweat off my, what I mean? Like, okay. Not to sound like I don't, not to sound ungrateful for like 20 bucks, you guys. I'm just saying, like, it was a negligible amount. And on the back end, I almost kind of feel like I should have had the time that they initially said that I did, and so that I could have made that decision. But at the same time, I think that, long story short, some of the things that I was learning about, And then also, even you guys, be careful with that chat GPT, right? It's not necessarily Google, and Google is also tracked. I think that, when you are on the brink of like 1,010% escaping the matrix, they know, that's what I just think on a personal note. I'm not here to project it onto you. It's just interesting, some of the things that I was watching and looking up and questioning about regarding just that in the 2 weeks prior to the demonetization. But then again, that's just my theory. All right. It's not like I ever had another super chat, so I don't know. Um, so yeah. So there's also, you guys, personal readings are closed. I wanted to make an announcement. I've been putting it in the description box. But I just wanted to make that announcement as well. Not that that's, again, this is so funny because nothing really is affected at all, except for you guys don't have to get through those grueling ads, which, hey, I celebrate as well. So thank you for being here, and let me get to your Yeah, I think so. I think that Chappie, I'm not. I don't have that app, the Chat GPT. Um, and I know that it's being used a lot and stuff. But I have seen some people really use it in like brilliant ways, and then I've seen other people, especially regarding some spiritual aspects, really kind of overworking that. And the thing is, hey, guess what? You still need to freaking pray and meditate. Okay, like you can't just chat GPT. Should I wear green today? Like, what are you talking about? Like, chat GPT. Like, am I alive? Kind of, or should I breathe now? Right? Like, no. And so just like anything else, including tarot, you guys know I don't stand for abusing tarot. Like, oh, it's been 11 minutes. Let's see if he loves me now, kind of thing. No, we're not doing that. You know what I mean? So just be mindful, you guys. Um, yeah, you know what, Amy? I have been moving and a shaking. I do have an open invitation at a local shop. I've been meditating on that, and we do have some events coming up as well. But that's really separate and apart from here, so I wasn't really like getting into all that. And as far as um marketing myself to actually receive payment, it's still going back to what I might need to hire a lawyer um to get this thing started, because long story short, until I have that infrastructure, I'm not really interested in really heavily making money through much of anything, now that I know what I know, long story short. So thank you for the sentiment. I'm not worried. Okay. And even if I do try to again worry, I'm gonna have a talk with my guides and everyone and everything else that I know I'm connected to, including source. All right, so no worries. Okay, please don't worry about. But thank you. I do want to get into the session tonight if you guys don't have any questions. Um, Good job for using it in moderation, country. Yeah, I'm not against Chat GPT. Like, I don't even know enough about that. It's just that I've seen some things, and you know I don't know, I just I would hate to find that Chat GPT allowed someone to enter spiritual psychosis of some form they couldn't get themselves back out of, kind of thing. Those rabbit holes run deep, baby. Meditation is definitely healthier. I'm glad you guys know that. Thank you, Cat Goddess. Yes. Um, all right, so let's get into it, shall we? All right, so pile number one, you guys, if I missed somebody in the chat that actually had a question right now, just please tell them. I promise I'm gonna ring the bell again. Okay, I just want to get started. So again, pile number one. All right, we are at 3420. Um, Here's the stitch. You guys don't have to necessarily know this person, but you may. And pile number one, not gonna lie to you guys, I really think that you know this person. Okay. Um, so long story short, your card coming out here, you know the answer already, actually came in out of the deck in a horizontal fashion. It was the only one out of the three piles that I had a card do this for. So we're going to talk about it because y'all know that as a reader, if anything comes out horizontally, it's really like some form of blockage indicator, some sort of stagnancy, all right, some wishy-washy, right, back and forth. I don't know. Do I know? Do I? So Spirit wants pile number one to know you do know about this situation, this person, all right. And now let's get into it a little bit more deeply. So this person could be a surfer or a gamer, right? Somebody that really is maybe even just young at heart, loves to be outdoors, athletic, loves to be indoors and couch potato like, you know, pick your poison. This person could be all of that as well, all right? Or this could be describing the collective member, doesn't have to be the case. There could be some iconic aspect to the aesthetic of any of these people pictured. Doesn't have to be the case, but we do have gardener. All right, so somebody here could like to, you know, water their plants. What's up? Like, I always have to remember, I'm like, oh, don't die on me, I love you so much, I'm gonna give you water. Like by the time I realize, like, oh, and speaking of, I really need to. They thirsty, some of them girls I got over here in my plant, even my jade plant. I'm like, oh no, not the jade. There could be a DJ coming your way here, or in your energy, right? There could be millionaire, billionaire, or at least someone that really is um, dressed to impress, plays the part. They're heading there, perhaps. Don't judge a book by its cover, just saying. All right. There was some heavy significance to firefighter to the point where nothing else seemed like it was coming out of the deck, and I almost was like, okay, firefighter, it is. But this was our first card out of the deck. Pile number one for who may be coming your way. Okay. Now, I do have to tell you guys that at least for those connecting to the piles tonight, you could have heavy connection with the Fae realm, Fae energy, fairies, as it were, because I was heavily guided to my, I always call this like the fairy version of Romance Angels deck, but it's really called Romance Fairy Oracle. All right. And so I do have a card for each of the piles. Pile number one, yours was forgiveness. I have to cover the card, but y'all know it's steamy up under there. Just saying. Firefighter. um, so I just got that, you know, this person is going to be able to come back to you and or come your way. All right. On the other side, some forgiveness, whether this is simply and solely like if you know this person and they're over in the corner because there's some forgiveness that needs to be exchanged, then there's that. But also for those that are saying, well, I don't know who would come my way, but I was drawn to pile number one, this person coming your way comes to you on the other side of maybe some aspect of you forgiving of yourself, okay, as part of that self-love sacred journey, right? And the reason why I say that too is because this card is also saying spiritual. It says spiritual and with the ampersand there, enlightenment, but I just got spiritual enlightenment, okay? On the other side of some aspect of perhaps the need, the call for some self forgiveness, because how do you know until you know? How do you know until you check in? Right. And it would take, you know, almost like I almost said temperance, but that's not, it would almost take like hermit energy, you know, maybe some temperance, because since I almost said it, trying to search for the word hermit, but which is not anything like temperance. But there you go. Um, there's also this cool, calm, and collected, and learning and training. Okay, so this person could be, you know, maybe even somebody that you go into business with. Perhaps does not have to be the case because I also got this is someone that is going to assist you with, you know, learning how love can be, right? Like so for those of us that have grown up in like toxic family environments, okay, where the lovers dynamic, have a great night, Cassandra, love and late, thanks for stopping in, love you. um this person will assist you with having a better experience. Understatement. Okay. But again, there is some aspect of like you kind of needing to get ready for this, not to be word cursy, but it's just like, you know, I could be speaking to somebody who's done a hell of a lot of work, right? And, some people, not everyone, just go with the example, you guys. Some people might say, baking a cake is a lot of work, right? Or baking a pie, perhaps, right? And I don't know, I'm going with the sugar foods right now. Just go with it, you guys. But long story short, it's like as much as you've done with that cake, and man, it's freaking fluffy as ever, right? Golly, it's gonna win a prize almost. It looks like. You still have to ice it. You still have to, put the icing on, or at least that glaze, right? Because it's not really ready to be served if you don't do that part, right? And that's kind of what we're talking about here. Same deal with the pie. You got to glaze it, perhaps, right? And you can bake it, and okay, you didn't burn it, but did you glaze it? Did you put the butter on the? Yeah, I don't know. Okay, just go with it. Um, so I was guided to one of the crystal decks to help you guys from one pile to the next, maybe connect with something that will assist you regarding energies, mindsets, attitudes behind love in general, and or connecting to, for those that are here, pile number one, understanding that, oh, this is about Jimmy, this is about Brenda, whoever, and there's this aspect of forgiveness that needs to be exchanged, right? I don't know why I keep wanting to say it that way. Maybe you guys both need to exchange forgiveness. Maybe it's not a one-sided, like, you did me wrong kind of thing. Maybe it's like a complete misunderstanding, or when you left off last, it was, well, we agree to disagree, kind of, but it wasn't really like a civil agreement. There's some forgiveness that definitely needs to be taken a look at, whether simply and solely within you and your own heart space and or a connection. Okay, call number one. And you've got the Aqua Aura Quartz. The message on this card states, my spirit is limitless. All right. Spiritual awareness, communication, and channeling is what this particular crystal will assist you with. All right. And I'm going to take a look at the names, chart placements. Okay, in the meantime, I'm going to ring the bell again. All right, easy peasy tonight, you guys. I didn't want to go too far down any rabbit holes. Shoot, I'm still on the cleanse, y'all. I'm doing great. But yeah, you guys, I just had a lot of downtime recently, and I was catching up with, just some movies and some comfort food for the soul through movies. Like not comfort food, chicken soup type of thing for the soul. So um I was going back and forth between like holiday vibes and then like childhood things. I had a lot of fun. Considering how I was feeling, but and I can recommend, um which maybe many of you do know, Demi Moore was one of the stars in it, but I cannot remember the year of the movie, but it was called Half Light, right? It was called Half Light. And I don't want to say too much about it, but if you love lighthouses, if you love a bit of romance and betrayal, whoo, it had all of that in there. Ooh, and Demi Moore, and I feel like there was one other person that I recognized in that cast, and it takes place in Ireland. Gorgeous. Oh, I loved it. I'm still thinking about that movie, you guys. So anyone, if you want to watch it, let's chat on the back end of that one. Ooh wee. I'm glad it's resonating, you guys. Love and light, Yasa. Okay, so before I forget, you guys, for pound number one, let me just wrap this up, and then I got you on the questions. We only had Aries and Taurus for the chart placements coming out, whether on the part of you or this person or both of you. Okay, it could be some significance to the name Tammy, the name Tam, the morning. There could be some significance to mountain time. Doesn't have to be the case. Or we could have somebody named Matthew, perhaps. All right. So again, the bell has rung, you guys, and let me see who's in the queue here. Um, yeah, I don't see Cat Goddess's question. Can you repost it, babe, according to the live stream rules? Because I'm just not seeing it. I do see Yasa. Okay. Okay, let me see here. Let me see here, Yasa. Oh, 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 oh. So that they are very pleased. Hold on one second. Yeah, they are very pleased with your work. Okay, you basically got a double yes, but this is an ace talking about like top tier. All right, so they're well pleased with your work. All right, congratulations. Great job. Oh, Country and Cassandra ask, I'm so sorry. Uh well uh I know she knows I didn't do that on purpose. I'm a little rusty, you guys. Let me stop. All right. Okay, let me see here next month. Okay, let's see. Okay. Yeah, it should I don't like next month. Next month feels like a crunch. Your card that came out of the deck, babe, this is for Country, was like the card for decisions, right? Like it's up to you kind of thing. But as far as like online sales, it seems like that would not be as, if you were going to be online. The reason why I say that is because it's the Page of Swords, which is one of my cards for like online-ish as well as voyeurism. So I don't know if it's enough to make a campaign to market. Do you know what I mean? Like even by word of mouth, unless you've got it like that where everybody is waiting for you to post. What's that? No, let me stop. Gosh, even over on Facebook, I'm like, y'all really not seeing this? That's so interesting. People don't be seeing shit, girl. They don't see shit. So funny. So funny. Love and light, Laura. Love and light, Jay. Thank you, babe, for that blessing the other day. Isn't it funny how people don't see shit you post though? It's so funny. So like Cat Goddess. Okay, so you're saying you want someone to actually value you and respect you and to treat the people that you love properly. Well, honey, you've got to vet them, right? Like now that you know what you want, if they're not adding up to that, you can't be like, but maybe on Wednesday. You know what I mean? Like you got all that. You can't be the one. You know what I mean? Because I got these standards. But let's see what the cards. Just keep with your boundaries. Settling for crap is just going to get you more crap. It doesn't matter what we're talking about, even if it's not love. Settling, not on the menu. All right. So once you get out of your head about speaking those boundaries, okay, then yeah, like anyone around you is going to know, oh, I'm lucky to be around you, let alone love you, let alone hug you and whatever else. Okay. But you being impatient about that process also doesn't help. To be clear, I'm not calling you out as being impatient. I just sense an air of emotion. I'll put it that way, which your emotions are valid. However, be mindful in those very pivotal emotional points to just observe. I realized that these previous, partners have not been partners at all. And so now that I realize that, instead of being like, you know, like allowing yourself to feel even worse longer, right? By being like, that's all I've ever known, blah 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 blah. And getting yourself into a dizzy where it's like now you're defensive. You don't even, like the right guy, the right, person, however, could come along. And if you're hyper focused on what you did not receive, you know what I mean? Then you're not really making an environment even energetically, let alone spiritually, for you to receive what you now know you deserve. So you got to take solace in understanding, hey, I now know that's the lesson. Okay. That is also the blessing. But keep it moving. All right. Living your best life, focusing on you, loving you. When's the last time that you told yourself why you love yourself in the mirror? Oh, you didn't, did you do that? Because the more you do that, the more you're going to stay built up in knowing you're worthy and knowing that if another mofo comes around trying it, you're going to be like, absolutely, you can't, there's a gate here, buddy. Like, without being bitter, you just get better. See what I mean? So when you can identify, I want someone to, respond to me in these ways, to respect me, to love me, to be affectionate towards me. You gotta check yourself at the same time. When is the last time I allowed myself to feel respected by me? When is the last time I allowed myself to feel loved by me? What are the things that make you feel loved? Like some people, sadly, I'm not calling you out for this. I'm just saying some people in society don't even know. They don't even know. And that's why when people like us come around and we're loving, they don't even know it's love. They're like, what are you trying to get out of me? So I get it. It's a journey, right? But it's something that we signed up to experience, right? On the other side of some of those lessons that maybe we wouldn't want to call prizes or awards, right? We got stronger, we became more informed, we got clearer about our wants, even versus desires, and found that sometimes some of those desires didn't align with us, things like that. So please don't give up, because every part of the process, every part of the journey towards anything, whatever you guys are looking for, whether it's love or not, right, is very much just as important. And I know sometimes we don't really want to see it that way, but that's literally the truth. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. All right. Okay, let's see here. Eat me. Does Panaver, what? Okay, let me see here. If you get a yes or a no, eat me. Okay. Oop. We got a no, and there could be some significance to Capricorn energy because it was the devil card, babe. That's what I have for you. Eat me. All right. It was a maybe at the bottom of the deck, which I'm not. It's not part of the message. Oh, you're gonna have to catch me on the next one. Eat me. All right. Sorry, I'm looking in the queue, you guys. You got to delete if you want to change. um. No, Cat Goddess, if you realize that you have standards, right, then you realize exactly who you want to manifest. Okay. So that way, if somebody's coming around and they're not checking those boxes, you go, oh, thank you. Next. Like, I don't, I'm gonna be over here. Like, we don't need to do that. Whereas the older version of yourself might have been like, well, let me see. Like, long story short, you're saving yourself a hell of a lot of time, anguish, disappointment, and keeping yourself safe in a lot of ways when you do maintain your sense of morality, when you do maintain those boundaries. Of course, not. I feel like boundaries gets a bad rep because, first of all, they piss off a lot of people, and then also a lot of people have made boundaries while they themselves were pissed off. And so, something born out of a mal energy, like, any kind of toxic energy. Not saying that we don't have very valid feelings of anger, to be clear. But some of those tit for tat, well then I'm not, well then you can't, and it's like, what? But when the boundaries we're talking about, perhaps take time, to learn and create and uphold. I'll give you that. But once you are grounded in them, it's really, they're not something that should be able to be easily shaken off of you, kind of thing. Because the boundaries I'm speaking of really are put in place, not born out of bitterness or resentment, but just to function as the self-preservation that they're meant to be, and not in a toxic form of avoidant self-preservation. Oh, I'll say nothing so that we can't have an argument. It's like, in the whole time you're arguing with yourself because you're not acting or actioning in an authentic way. Authenticity would actually flow quite nicely with communication, whether with self and or others. Okay, that's what I mean by that. All right, let's see here. I know your voice. I do that too though. Like, I'll read what I like text and stuff, and I hear my voice, and then, like, if somebody else texts, I can hear their voice too. Like, every time, the way they mean it, if they're upset, or it doesn't really necessarily matter what the words are. So funny the way we can communicate like that. It's pretty awesome, but it's also pretty telling of being starseed energy. So there's that. Pretty neat. All right, you guys, we're gonna go to pile number 2 at 55:58. Okay, and again, that was a little meow kitty cat. So maybe somebody here has cats, whether on your side of the fence or not. Okay, take what resonates. Okay, um, one second, you guys. Hold on one second. You know what, you guys? Oh, I'm so upset about this. I forgot to read the 3 cards for pile number 1, you guys. Okay, really quick, I just want pile number 1 to know. Side note: this connection is going to be not only practical but inspiring. Isn't that pretty neat? That's like a interesting combo. And you guys will perform some sort of achievement together, and or this connection being a thing for you will feel like an achievement, like not an embarrassment, not punishment. Okay, not gonna weigh you down. All right, so I totally forgot to say that. So sorry, you guys. A little rusty, I suppose. All right, here we go. Back to pile number 2. Could have some significance to the initial B, but I wasn't trying to get there yet. Pile number 2. All right. Maybe the cat's name starts with the B. You guys, this is from Hocus Pocus. There's like a card deck somewheres around here. And it had this little kitty in it from Disney. So could be some significance to Disney, as well as cats, as well as Hocus Pocus. All right. And the cat has green eyes. So it could be some significance to that as well. I'm also looking at the number 44. Speaking of wish fulfillment. Ooh. All right. Anywho. Here's the sitch, pile number 2. You gotta release. I'm literally burping as I'm saying that. All right, so you guys, pile number 2, chill out. All right, I see you've been hurt. I see it in the cards. Now I'm burping, trying to get your reading out, and I barely started. Okay, somebody needs to, like, woo saw something. All right. I do see in the cards that there is an issue with being defensive when this person comes in, or right now. Because again, pile number 2, same deal. We're talking about someone, whether you know them or not, okay, coming to you in the realm of love, okay? So I do see that this person could be a leader, or you yourself could be a leader. All right, could be. Hey, potential to be power couple energy. I love that. I do see the energy of adventure being attached to this connection. So you could obviously go on an adventure, but there could be some aspect to, like, you and or this person being characterized as adventurous, if that makes sense to say. Okay, but the situation is that you've got to cut off being so damn defensive. All right. This makes me think of that Love Light movie though. Demi's character was like, what do you want? Like, what do you, like, she was all just wall up, like, no, I don't need a friend, like, kind of like, we're good, just don't talk to me too much, I'm gonna be over there. It's like, whoa, lady, like, calm down, get in the boat and chill. um so this negative energy we're talking about, it's really feeling like mental chatter, right? It's really feeling like somebody trying to action out some form of self-preservation, but like overdoing it to the point where it's like, are you actually like at peace right now? Like, are you breathing easy? Like, it feels like you gotta like breathe a lot more deeply when you're doing that, you know? Like, just try, okay? Pile number two, seriously, okay? Whew, the energy. I'm like, hold on, because I ain't trying to get choked up. Gotta breathe, damn it. Okay. Whew. Heavy energy. This is like elephant on the chest. And I don't know if somebody's sick or what, but no, see, I'm looking at, look, heavy burden. All right. So let's get into this. There could be somebody that is a professor or somebody studious. Okay. Um, I'm hearing like college, university related. So it could be, I mean, could be other forms of teaching as well, but that's what I heard in the channel. And we've got lifeguard. All right. We had the surfer for pile number one, pile number two. You got the lifeguard. This could be somebody that like this makes me think of, was it Pierce Brosnan? No, wait, hold on a second. I don't know if it was Pierce Brosnan, but somebody that just like always looks tanned. Maybe I'm thinking of, was it George Hamilton? I don't know. They're like not really of my day, so I'm questioning. Hold on. Let me just get this out because that's gonna bother me. Was that his name? Yeah, the actor, right? Yeah. So this makes me think of like this guy. It's like, dude, the moon is bright tonight, right? And this guy is just glowing like or forgive me. Love and light, Mr. Hamilton. But anywho, okay. Just could be, sun kissed, as it were, just, however you can manufacture that perhaps. Anywho, this could be also somebody that is a deep thinker, and their favorite place to think might be on the throne. Yeah, not the kingly kind necessarily, unless this one's in a man cave, but it's giving more like the porcelain kind, and I feel like I can't show that, so I'm just gonna give you what the guy looks like. Because it could be of some significance, doesn't have to be the case. And or somebody could be a therapist or need one, okay? And the reason why I say that, not to pick on anybody, I promise, okay? But the Fae are calling, okay? You've got to, what does it say? Let go of the past, okay? So we went from release negativity, to let go of the past. Don't be so damn defensive. Pile number two, all right? Now, the crystal that you may want to work with here for you, pile number two came out hematite. All right. The card's affirmation states, "My life is filled with balance and harmony." And this is a very detoxifying, grounding, and balancing stone. Okay. So I'm not here to pick on you, babe. There could be a whole host of reasons, depending on who all I'm reading for. Could be TRAUMA involved, right? And all of that. I'm mindful, and neither are your spiritual, guides. However, this is the call. It's like, don't you want better though? Like, don't you want to get on to the good stuff in life and in love, right? And so again, this person and you do have the potentiality to be power couple, but I do see that you realizing whether this has happened yet or not in the connection, that you and this person are soulmates. It's actually burdening. All right, you're being guided to move through that energy, through that emotion, not avoid it. Move through the energy, move through the emotion, okay, so that you get to the other side, because if not, this isn't necessarily going to work. What I'm seeing in the cards, pile number two, okay? It's going to create limitations, and it's going to feel too squeezy, not a hug a bunch kind of way. So get grounded, okay? Cleanse, maybe Eva said detox. So maybe, maybe you're thinking about it. That was you. Get on it, okay? A lot of these additives that can add up in the body will affect the mental and ultimately heart space. I'll give you that. So You really do, when you realize maybe you're not so grounded as you could be, you really do want to take that serious and get into the throes of being grounded back out there, buddy. Okay. All right. So we're gonna get into the chart placements and the names of this individual. And for those that are eligible, you guys, you get one freebie per live stream. Okay. Um, for those still eligible, you may enter your question into the chat. Okay. Could be some significance to LGBTQ plus community. I just saw, I can't explain it, but I just saw synchronicity about it in the cards. Ooh. Wow, maybe somebody's name is Leo. But I also do have that chart placement coming out. We'll talk about it. We'll talk. I'm right. Okay, hold on. You got, whoa, all right. I got the name Gary. Okay, here we go. Virgo could be of some significance as well. All right, we talked about Leo. I got Libra and Cancer. All right. As far as the initials, there were way more of those than the chart placements, which obviously high-key makes sense. But here we go. R. This is still pile number 2. And then we're going to wrap up and get with the freebies. We've got O and L. We've got E. Maybe somebody... That's so funny. It's like... Is that how you say, like, O-L-E? No. I'm thinking of something else. Ooh, maybe somebody's into AI. And we've got G and P. All right. So whether you know them or not, pile number 2, that's what we're looking at. But remember, be mindful not to be so defensive. Be open. Don't, you know, the request to not be so defensive is not the equivalent to do away with your boundaries. It's just the call to, again, be a little bit more chill and receptive. All right, knowing you are worthy and that you are safe with yourself at this point. Okay, at this point, whoever I'm speaking to, you've done the work to the point where you know not to be, you know, openly naive, right? You being less defensive is not a call to naivete either. All right, it's just a call to just understand that you are safe with yourself. You are safe with your intuition. You are safe with your guides. You are safe. I mean, everyone's got at least a guardian angel, okay? At this juncture, you know, you have learned some of those lessons that you're fearing having to relearn. And really there's no reward in fearing having to learn a lesson you already know, but there is a reward in honoring that you've already learned the lesson. Do you understand, honey bun? Hopefully that makes sense to somebody. But that's what I have for pile number 2. All right. Okay, let's see. Ooh. Let's see. Yes or no, Laura? Okay. Congratulations on dates. What are those again? I forgot. I was seriously thinking about going on Hinge, you guys, and especially because my daughter told me that I could go on there also to find friends. Like there's supposedly some sort of section that, because I was like, what kind of friend? Because I'm like, I've always been the one that's just like, okay, we don't, if friends don't do that, you know what I'm saying? But and she explained to me like, no, there's like some sort of subdivision area, I don't know, in the app where you can actually meet friends that are just looking for friends, not in a, because she said there's like a friends and then there is like a friends with benefits and then there's like a relationship, because obviously I'm like, I'm somebody's wife. No, let me stop. But yeah, so really, I got 2 yeses, and I kind of feel like that's yeses for both, if that makes sense. So I don't know, Laura, here. The one is more like I want to say intuitive, only because this deals with like clarity and truth kind of vibes. But this one also is a victory too. So there's look at you at the bottom of the deck, all just ready. Let me stop. But that's what I have for you, Laura. It's a yes, 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 yes. It's a yes. Yes. No, let me stop. What is this? Sexy Carol? Just joking. Um, SNL does a good bit on Hinge. Oh no, if SNL knows about Hinge, no, let me stop. But I don't know. Yeah, I think the issue is that yeah, there's just so many things I could mention, but this too shall pass. I'm sure somehow one day in some realm on some astral path or timeline where you know we're all seen and chosen, if that makes sense to say, you know. All right. So we're good on the freebies. We're going to go over to pile 3 with the blue jay feather. Gorge as ever. You guys see that blue? Or no? Is it just me? Ooh, pretty. All right. So it is 110.46. Okay. And pile number 3. Who could be coming your way if you don't know them already? Let's see. We've got the artist. Oops. Hold on. All right. So it could be some significance to that kind of aesthetic, that vibe. All right. Doesn't have to be the case. Fashion designer also came out. Now, this could be, these cards, oracles are kind of limited, right? So I'm like, yeah, it says fashion designer. It says like blah, 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 blah on the card. But I'm really getting somebody that just is like into fashion. Like it's like this person could be like metrosexual. This person could be like, just really in tune with the fashion design world. Like they like lines and they like stitches and they like the seat of their pants to be a certain, aesthetic and this, that, and the third, right? So that's, I mean, something for you to find out perhaps, or for you to resonate with, however it's gonna, because I didn't really get that it's like literally somebody going, let me cut up the clothes and stitch them together, but like they like that kind of like tailor made, like maybe they go and get suits kind of thing. Okay, pile number 3. And they could be a doctor, so they would have money, more times than not, to be able to do such a thing with those suits. Or same deal with an engineer. Ooh, pile number 3. Look who's coming your way. All right. We've also got this farmer dude. All right. And really with this farmer guy, please don't take it so literally. It could be somebody that's into like homesteading, somebody that's just good with their hands, works with the land. They're maybe like in an area of the world where it's like literally farming is their lifestyle. And I say kudos to them. I feel like since many decades ago that job has just gotten completely, oh, I don't want to be word cursy or rude, but I feel like, interestingly enough, when we're talking about farming and harvest, the amount of respect that they harvest has really become nil over time, both by the community as well as some of those business people out there. All right, where they're all about business and not much else, right? Whereas I feel like OG farmers, man, they had heart. Like it's like, yeah, it was a business, but like they weren't in it to just be like, let me get $15 an egg right now, you know, kind of thing. So there's that. I always respect those people because that is some hard work, and it's also work that, we need. I mean, not everybody's capable or able physically, literally, to just go into the forest and get their whatever they're coming out of the grocery store with, kind of thing, or whatever they're coming out of the fruit stand with and stuff. So those people, I give it to them, all the respect. Now, here's the sitch though. Divine timing is very much at play for whenever this person's going to come in. For many of you, I'm just getting a lot of singles attached to this one. All right. And you know what? No worries. That's why, I did speak with my guides to say, hey, can we do something as much for everyone as possible tonight? Okay. For these piles. Now here's the sitch. With this divine timing, what I'm seeing in the cards is that many of you have something to walk away from. This could be mindset. This could be somebody, right? This could be, yeah, it's super expensive. Like, it's like, how do they even do it still? Like in the US, especially. Yeah, I know. Eat me. But so this could be some aspect of emotionality because I have this 8 of raindrops. Definitely feeling like cups vibes, emotions. Okay, the card is really kind of not a bright hue even. Okay, it's talking about walking away. So this is giving 8 cups obviously from the tarot, right? But even more to that, it could be like for me, back in the day, one of the older versions of me, I just had this thing I was like hung up on. I was like, how, like I would see people in the community together and I'd be like, how did she get him? How did she get him? Like what, and then I'd be like, well, she must be paying for his everything, this, that, and the third. Okay. And really it was a warped perception of, I guess I should say reality, the reality of the situation, because that wasn't even always the case. I was projecting what I knew and was hurt from. You know, me always paying the bills, me always trying to figure out like how we're going to do this, that, and third. Me um, paying for my wedding, paying for the rings. Like, I mean, I've done it all. Okay. I have been used to the utmost, and I also have overgiven to the utmost, where it's like, I don't want to say it's like embarrassing because at the same time it's part of how I present today, like the reasoning behind it. So I've learned, and so I've taken my reward and I move forward, right? And it just is what it is. But there's some aspect of either mentality or self talk, I'm hearing to say. This could even be just inner monologue, maybe not even anything that others would be able to pinpoint, like, yeah, Rachel should just definitely walk away from that, because it might be something within self. There's a lot of emotionality connected to this, okay, with this walking away. And really, you're being asked to call judgment as you walk away, right? So if you're walking away from a mindset, you got to understand, okay, I'm leaving this behind now, right? And not just until next Friday, right? But like, this is, I'm not down with this anymore. Whatever this is, okay? And it could be a whole host of different type of things, maybe even people, right? Maybe places. But this is connecting to your ascension, and I think this is why we do have this divine timing, because not everybody is on the same path. Not everybody's on the same type of time, if you can even call time at this point. Um, and there is some I feel like we're still talking pile number 2 a little bit, but there is some call to be mindful throughout this journey. It's not going to be all necessarily roses and candy. When you hear, oh, it's coming in divine timing, that's not always a roses and candy situation. Some people are already feeling like divine is late on some things. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to matters of love. We have these great desires, and I get it. Excuse me. I don't, you guys really have to keep your vibes high. Okay. I don't know. I'm burping on 2 and 3 now. But this self victimization card is coming out. Okay. So this would be like 8 of Swords energy, right? The longer you stay in 8 of Swords energy, gosh, is this my pile? No, let me stop. But the longer you stay in 8 of Swords energy about, will I ever be loved? Um, the longer you're going to have a wait in the divine timing waiting room, okay? Um, because you can't be of a mindset in a toxic way and build a healthy relationship. That's just the long and the short of it. Okay. And what I mean by a toxic way, if you are expecting that somebody come and love you so that you can feel loved, that's toxic. You gotta know what it feels like to be loved, because you know how to love yourself. in a very thorough, and I'm not even talking, I know is some of the guys do it 3 times a day. I'm not talking about that. Okay. That if anything is a service. I'm talking about love. All right. Love you, pouring into you, caring about how you feel, and often first, you know. It's not a call to narcissism, but it's definitely pile number 3, a call to get clear about this. Clarity, okay, about not only what you want, but what's expected of you in the journey, and why. Here's the thing, there's a lot expected of us from time to time, or maybe all the time, okay, depending on who you talk to and the sentiment that you share about this thing called life or this journey, right? But just because there's a lot expected of you doesn't mean that it's a fruitless journey, you know. And you can't expect somebody else to be your harvest of self-love. Okay, so what I meant by toxicity is some people do have a tendency in these type of toxic mindsets or dynamics to then latch on to the other person and maybe hug them a little too tight, right? It feels restrictive. I feel like I'm still talking about number 2. It's so interesting. Um, so this particular love, okay, however you resonate with that last part, um, this is someone that is going to enter into connection where you'll still feel self-sufficient and you'll be expected to be, right? Not in a toxic, like, oh, you do everything for me, honey, but then whenever it comes to you needing something, you never get. No, but in the sense of you're still two very much individualistic type of people, though you agree you are partnered, though you agree you're married, though you agree you're seeing each other, however this pans out, because I'm speaking for more than one person, obviously. Love and light, Sean. But you guys, this is going to be a higher love. All right. I know this is one of the extra cards, but I kept it in here um, for great reason. All right. When you see things like divine timing and higher love, you better freaking get ready. All right. Not in the sense of get impatient, hold your breath and wait, but in the sense of you better know that you've got someone really, really, if you want to consider yourself waiting for. However, please don't wait for you live your best life, right? That's what's going to allow for you to enjoy them a lot more faster. All right? That's how that works. Exactly. I love that song. Bring me a higher love. Um, so, um, remember that, okay? You're not looking for your other half here, pound number 3. You're already whole. And if you're feeling like, no, no, I'm not already whole, then you're not ready for a relationship. Hopefully that makes sense, okay? Patience and progress is coming out for you, as well as craftsmanship from the Higher Love Soul Link Oracle. With the patience and progress, I mean, it's really kind of what I was already talking to you about. Just keep going, right? Give yourself grace, but also make this divine timing feel as good as it can, okay? Because if you're connecting the ideology of divine timing to some sort of mal experience, or some form of displeasure, you're really working against this, okay? I don't know how I could more plainly state it, all right? And with the craftsmanship on the other side of freaking, what was it? Divine timing and higher love. This is something that you, again, like the general message for all of us tonight stated, are co-creating. You're co-create. This is something that you want. Whether you can remember that right now, whether you can have tangible evidence of that fact right now or not. Pawn number 3. Okay. Now your stone to work with came out as bloodstone. All right. And interestingly enough, again, you're not in that waiting room. Your oracle message is a call to remember that you live and you are to live in the present moment. literally that's all you have right now anyhow. So it's okay to live there and be present and make it enjoyable. All right. What's not okay is to, in the present moment, say, F divine timing, it sucks, it takes too long. Man, okay, you don't want to be that one. Just saying. Get you some bloodstone. All right. This also is, interestingly enough, great for detoxifying as well as grounding and healing. It's my understanding that many, many moon cycles ago as well, it was used on battlefields as forms of protection, forms of garnering strength and maintaining it. Okay, so sounds like if you resonate with the need in some of that, you should go ahead and get some of that. It's fairly inexpensive, as well as hematite that we talked about for pound number 2, and aura coated quartz is probably the cheapest out of all. So there's that. And we're going to get into the name and chart placements. But last call, you guys, for the bell tonight. Pretty easy peasy once we got into it. I told you guys it would be. Thanks for sticking around. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I know I had a pleasant time with my peoples, all right? And I'm your peoples too, so hopefully you had a pleasant time with your girl. All right. Oh, something flipped. Hold on. Something. Show me. Gemini. Gemini. All right, let me see. For pound number 3, please, Spirit. Ooh. Oh, okay. Oh, pound number 3 is jumping. I was like pulling teeth on the other ones. Like, please, can I get a chart placement? Yes or no? Like, I had my own question. Like, yes or no? Can I? Shoot. Let me see here. I think we're good. All right, we're good. Bottom of the deck is a S. S on my chest. Ain't nobody saving nobody but themselves, really. S on my chest for self-sufficient. How about that? I was gonna sing I think it's Nicki Minaj, S on my chest, because I'm ready to save them. Nah, we good. We self-sufficient. The power number 3, y'all so damn self-sufficient. I love it. All right. So, chart placements. I got a few here. Okay, we got Taurus. We got Cancer. We got Sagittarius. I'm like, what does it say? Sagittarius and Gemini. Wanted to be all flippy out the deck. Last but certainly not least, Cappy Goats, Capricorn. All right, and for the initials, all right, we've got K, we've got I, we've got U. Do we got me? No, let me stop. We got Q, we got D, we got M, and we got A. Maybe there is some significance to the morning time again, pound number 3, like we had for pound number 2. Somebody's name could be Cam as well. I'm also hearing the name Adam. Ooh, all right, so last call was already rung, and if we don't have any takers, I just want you guys to know thank you for being here. Thank you for being amazing, and please know I love you guys. No change with me except for the better, really. But please bear with some of the changes that you may see across the platform, and I will do my best to keep you guys abreast of the situation as I know it. Y'all already know. All right. But it was a great session. It was a great live, if I do say so myself. I had a blast. And I'm not exactly sure when I'll be able to be on here again. We'll see. We'll see. I'll try. All right. But I do have a full weekend. I know that sounds like, yeah, I'm going out gallivanting. No, that's not what. Oh yeah, it's like definitely been studied that a lot of people, um especially the more tatted up they are, they tend to have high anxiety. It's so much fun here, right? I get it. And you're very welcome, Eat Me. Thank you for being here. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself, and I hope I helped. Hopefully the polls resonated, and hopefully those viewers on the back end maybe couldn't be with us on the live stream. Well, let your girl know it resonated. You had fun, all right, and you understand what all we're doing here, okay? Because that's what I want for you guys. And that's what I want for me too. We're all in this together, you guys. And don't you dare give up, okay? Yeah, Zane, there's yeah, there's a lot. Well, some of that stuff too, long story short, depending on aspects of the industry I will not get into, is also why that is a situation that happens. And then also what I just said, doubly for a different reason. There's a lot of stuff going on in the industry, quite unfortunately. And I do think on the other side of Gaia doing what she gonna do, and I don't know if you guys have been keeping abreast of the Schumann resonance situation. I've been posting about it every now and again in the group. I did recently, I think it was yesterday, post about it because with just the way the energies have been, the solar flares, my understanding have something to do heavily with the timeline shift, as well as existence of timelines and maybe not so much existence of other timelines that used to be. There's a lot going on, and it's nice to be mindful of it, not in the sense of some sort of like fear-based situation, but in the sense of really giving yourself a big fat ginormous permission slip to give yourself grace, right? If you guys get up and you're like, okay, like all of a sudden I feel like I don't know about you guys, I was having like whole episodes where it was like, okay, I literally, it's nowhere near like any kind of bed time right now, but like I'm gonna have to go. Like sometimes I was thinking like, man, maybe I'm just being called to sleep. But also on the back end and doing some of the research regarding the Schumann, I'm like, oh, that's probably what's, and it's so crazy because it would be like, oh, the flare hit um like at like I don't know, like 11:48 a.m. right, in my time zone and everything. And I'll look back and be like, damn, that was whenever I had to go down. Like I literally, it felt like, I mean, I've never been drugged by like like I never had like been roofied or anything, thankfully, or at least that I'm aware of. And it just felt like I had some sort of like something, or like you're gonna have to, like, you literally, you got a window, you're gonna lay down and you're gonna go to sleep now. And I was sleeping sometimes for like like 14 hours, just crazy. And I never, you guys know, I'm usually doing something. Like I never, I'm just like, let me just sleep for like a week. But it was getting to that point, and then with the parasite cleanse on top of it, I just was like, man, I swear, I just, sometimes I think I just be asking for stuff, but it's all for mine as well as your highest and greatest good. So who am I to complain? Just saying. But that was a lot. And so you guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can check over in the Facebook group. We have a Facebook page as well as a Facebook group over there. And I think I might start to do, as we grow a little bit more over there, some of the live readings over there as well, not just keep everything on the tube, if that makes sense. So there's that. So join if you haven't. The link is in the description box. Sleep is very important. Yes. I also looked into some vitamins and herbs and things like you're all be doing stuff. Okay. My self love literally is a lifestyle. Okay. And so I don't know if y'all thought I was joking, but I really have been putting in the work behind the scenes, just to get myself to be able to handle some of these energies, so that I can channel clearer messages for you and things like that. I do take what I do seriously here, whether I'm paid for it or not. And, the divine, the universe really is my provider. And they've made that known, they've made that clear. So I won't worry, and I won't give up. I just appreciate you guys hanging tight with me in the meantime while we just go on this journey together, wherever and where all ever it leads us. Um, I do dream of the days when I can say, all right, we're having a retreat, it's scheduled at such and such, and I can meet with you guys and we can shuffle some cards together. Perhaps that'd be a lot of fun, I think. And maybe catch a couple sunsets and do some moon gazing too. That'd be neat, I think. So thank you for believing in me long enough to hang around, and we'll see together what all happens. I'm excited, and in an odd way, I do feel like the demonetization was a little bit of weight taken off of me for such a time as this. However, I do really want to know more of what I do need to know. It's crazy because it's just funny how life is. Like I have been connected to individuals that know aspects of this, and at the same time, you know, they're not really in my life any longer, and as they perhaps shouldn't be. So again, it's just one of those things where I'm like, all right, divine, so you believe in me. I guess we'll just do this together then, because I'm not going to do it all on my lonesome, right? Um, but I'm also mindful that I don't want to craft the situation where I have to do it all on my own. So I'm like, thank you for Destiny Helpers. So any estate law attorneys out there, please hit your girl up. I promise to be grateful because I have questions. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm just taking it one day at a time. And thank you for listening to the messages that have been uploaded to the channel because they're for you. They're not for me, you guys, I promise. So please don't wait just for the live streams because I can't always be here for hours. When I come on a live stream, we're here for a good time. It's a party. I can't always be on here like that, especially in light of recent events because like I said, I do need to appoint some time towards learning some things so that I can help all of us really. Literally, you'll see. I can't really speak on everything, but we're going to be great. We are great. Excuse me. We are great. We're so great. All right, let's go. Speaking of sleep, let me check this box. I don't want to. Oh, Fiona. And basically the reason that they're telling me is because basically like I had set up my AdSense account and everything, but because I didn't put the tax information in a certain way because I was meditating on should I do that way, this, that, and the third. Long story short, um, they kicked the super chat back. It was like $2.99. They kicked it back and then said because AdSense kicked it back, um, AdSense was like, you're shut down. Our advertisers need to know that you're like, basically like trustworthy. I'm like, whoa, I didn't even receive any money. So like y'all need to calm down. Like how am I stealing? Like, you know what I mean? I'm just over here grinding. So, but and then YouTube was like, well, you already got the email from AdSense, so you're demonetized. And then I'm like, y'all are funny because whatever you revoked from me is negligible. It's never even existed in my world. So, and I get it, I'm a good spot to be able to be demonetized because my understanding is some of the other content creators, when it happens to them, it's not pretty, and, maybe they're not okay. I'm fine. In fact, I'm more than fine because the way that I would not have been fine if I would have set up um to receive the money in a certain way, like it would not have been the highest outcome for me as well as my people. So, and I know that sounds interesting to say, but I know a lot more than what I'm saying to you guys because I'm protective of myself, my energy, my channel, as well as my collective. So hopefully that makes sense. But I did want to be open and honest about, what I was told as to why it happened. What It's all funny. I mean, if I was doing this for money, I I don't even know if I ever would have come on a live stream. Like, because compared to what I have received versus how many hours I put into this, how much money of my own money, my own time that I put into this, that's hilarious. Because what are you talking about? YouTube, Google. So you guys, again, be mindful what you're googling and chat GPT. And yeah, it's rulers print. You know, when you say truth too much and you make truth fun to learn, pisses people off too. So I'm not mindful of that as well. And again, I will be doing my research as well, aside from Hinge, like we talked about. I'm going to look into some other platforms. So a lot of changes up ahead. I don't know how fast the changes will come. I'm not here to know that, so I'm taking the pressure off of me. But that's all I can share with you guys at this time, and I will share more as I'm able to, of course. All right, so I'm not holding anything back or trying to be dishonest or not trustworthy. Yikes. Anyway, I love you guys, and yeah, I'm getting what you're saying, Fiona. I'm getting what you're saying. All right. Um, Hi Cynthia, love and light to you. Please and thank you. Read the description box, babe, for the live stream rules so that you can get your free tarot question answered before I hop off of the live stream. All right, babe. Um, because you're not following the rules, and I just want to make sure that you're hitting all of those boxes. Um, to be clear, and also, guess what? Sometimes we have a lot more people on here, and I do have a tendency to skip over those, even accidentally. Go figure. When they're not following the rules, and so that's why the rules were in place. Hopefully that makes sense. So not picking on you. It's just I can't play favorites and be like, it's fine, right? Maybe you didn't know the rules. That's cool. Get it. But if you do need some assistance with finding them, please let our moderator know. We have Fiona and maybe some others on here. I'm so sorry, I don't know. Oh, thank you, Fiona. Fiona's on it. But bam, Fiona's like, here you go. I love you guys. Um, Let me think about is Zane from, because now I'm reading Fiona's thing. Let me see here. Zane. Are you talking about Zayn Malik? When you said Zane, I think I was thinking of Gene Remover. Let me see. Oop, wait, let me see. I don't know why I was thinking of Gene Remover. That's so funny. I hate when I do that. It's like, it's not even the same name. Why would you do that? But you're talking about Zayn Malik, right? Yeah, Malik from One Direction. Yeah. That's so funny. I went to Jane Remover. I don't even listen to Jane Remover. That's so funny. Okay. Not that I have anything against them. Just saying. Yikes. All right. So, let me see here. Let me see here. No, I don't want you to be sorry, Cynthia. No worries. Um, yeah, it's crazy. Oh man, small world, right? But my uh small world. I know somebody that was actually in one of his music videos. And they're from Philadelphia. It's interesting, but he said he was really nice. I mean, they didn't really like speak, but um, I think anyone in that industry, which is so like heartbreaking to say because ever since I came out my mama, like I've been wanting to be in the industry. I would love to sing, um, and do a whole bunch of things. But the more I learn about that particular industry, I'm like, that would have broke me. Like, I'm not, you know, I am very protective of my energy, so I don't think I would enjoy being like passed around like that the way that it's apparently expected, you know? And so interesting because, you know, things get normalized and to degrees of just insanity. And I don't stand for that. Like, I'm like, you know, women and children and men, because Terry Crews comes to mind, they don't deserve that kind of um, abuse. I mean, that's literally, you know, and just to normalize it and you know, just the sexualization of children. It's like, you know, sick. And I think really, you know, I'm not, ooh, I got chills on that. I couldn't even get it out. Hold on. Let me get it out. I think that really with this wave of energy coming in, you know, we're talking solar flares. We on the other side of eclipse after supermoon after supermoon, right? The astrological placements, like really resetting some shit. Okay, I think you know I'm just claiming that that also resets the industry as well, and I know many of my guides are in support of that, and I have chills again, and I also know that. Um, you know, many chosen, as it were, are very, very creative. And I think that there's a divine strategy in that, if I do say so myself. So, as much as I am almost cautious about my desire to be in the industry, I'm also very hope filled that because the desire to be in the industry does not really, it does not leave me, that's somehow tangible evidence before we'll have the receipts, that you know there will be a new wave of energy running through that with this new earth energy. It makes sense, it should, and it ought to, because a lot of people could be much more um, holistically helped through some of those parameters. And I think a lot of rulers principalities know that as well, but I also think, long story short, they know that their time is coming, that their end of rule is nigh, right? So there's that. Yeah, indie is the way to go. I've literally had Love and Light Alphonse. Happy Friday, buddy. I've literally had like execs tell me that. Like it's like your best bet is literally like if you want to actually like be able to make money to pay off what debt will most assuredly be incurred by you doing anything, you know, like tour, you know, have any kind of event, have any kind of like money return on your records, you would want to go indie. And it's like, well, even there's the aspect of you got to pay to play just like everywhere else. So you know, I just have been putting myself out there and, you know, trying like hell to remain positive about doing just that and seeing where that takes me because this is what I'm guided to do. And so that's why, you know, I'm very serious about what all I do, even in my silliness of it all. Okay. I very much um, have a passionate heart towards what I do, especially here, especially any aspect of creativity that I perform out in my journey, you know. And I'm mindful to use my gifts as well because they were given to me, you know, and they were given to me not just for me. I know that. So, just like anything else, it is what it is. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. So we ring the bell, Alphonse. I don't know if you have a question, babe. If you can pop it in, if you do, for the live stream. I mean, according to the live stream rules. And same deal with you, Cynthia. All right, because I don't want to hop off and then you guys are like, oh no. But I'm getting tired, and it's been, yeah, you guys have been rocking with me just under 2 hours. What are you guys doing? No, let me stop. Thank you for being here, of course, and thank you for contributing because it could be really boring, right? Nobody said anything. Nobody had a question, right? Okay. How's the business doing, Alphonse? But you guys, if this is where I leave you, ooh, let me see. If this is where I leave you, or this is where you leave me, please know, I love you and thank you for being around for as long as you could. And I really hope you have a wonderful night or day, however this message finds you. Ooh, it's the busy time, Alphonse. Oh, who is? Oh, see, I don't know Jisoo from Blackpink. Fiona. Oh, I gotta hold on. That one threw me off. Well, hold on a second. Wow, Jisoo. Okay, now I don't know if you guys had a fight, but the Tower card came out, right? And that's, hold on, Alphonse, just hold on. That's a no, right? But I'm asking for clarification, and at the bottom of the deck is the Chariot, and on the other side of the Chariot is this much better energy, but even still defensive. You're gonna have to go slow with this one. You are manifesting a connection, okay? You have manifested this connection, yes, okay? But there seems to be, I don't know if this person was divorced. Okay. Well, there seems to be some sort of like, because divorce was highlighted as well as, one second. Yeah, okay, yeah, even with the Chariot, it does speak about hard work, working hard, but there's something, I don't, if it wasn't a divorce, like if it wasn't like, okay, she was never married, right? Then this could be something of like in her history. I don't know if, okay, so yeah, it's like it was bad, right? And so I'm just getting that like this, like you're gonna, please don't like please don't hug her too tight. Not in the sense that, oh, she's out of there, but in the sense that if she feels smothered, if there are some, I'll tell you something that maybe most women won't tell you here, Alphonse. Okay, let's be real. Okay, let's just hear me out. Okay, I don't want to be word cursy here, but so I almost said 9 times out of 10, but I'll bump it down to 7. 7 times out of 10, when a woman is dealing from one relationship to the next with one guy to the next, more times than not, okay, through no fault of your own, Alphonse, or any males, or any partner's own, there can be similarities. Okay, it happens. You guys are guys, right? Guys are guys a lot, right? And that male masculine energy, so there can be similarities, and we as women can know that, but it still can be a little triggering because it's like, okay, but is this the similarity that leads me down that same path, the one that I just climbed out of hell to stay alive? Okay, like, question mark. And again, it's not always necessarily something you're doing, okay? So be mindful of that, okay? Because I think there's some aspect of like, hey, can you not take everything personally though, like the first time, Alphonse? Because sometimes it's about you and sometimes it's not. And I see a lot of like inner healing needed for this person still. Okay, which, it's not a call to be like, oh, well, forget it then. Like, she can't do it. You can't be there for her. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, please be mindful not to like push her off the ledge kind of thing. And not in the sense that, oh, you're just so much of a problem. No, I just know that your heart's, I mean, if you're manifesting a connection with someone, of course you care about the connection, duh, right? And, some of the things that, changed in the past. I just want to make sure you're still rocking with that programming, because that's working for you, irregardless of the little tiff or, this, that, and the third, right? So I do see that there is still some growing within, how do I want to say this? There's still some growing in her own energy within herself, which can't really be having anything to do with the connection between you and her, is what I'm saying. So when you're looking at things that have to do with the connection between you and her, you need to take that into account too. And again, it's not really just about you, if that makes sense. Right. So I do see that your manifestation, okay, like what you've been intending, okay, and the way that you've been making changes in recent past is working. So it's not a doom and gloom message, okay? Is the love there? Yes. Okay. There could even be some aspect of it's giving soulmate energy. I do see with the Page of Cups, the Three of Cups, and ultimately the successful Six of Wands. This is very much a thing for you and her, right? If she owes an apology, you will get that Page of Cups, okay? If you're looking for some extra romantic type of proposal energy, it seems to be a viable option that you guys will engage in, okay? As far as her trying to find someone else instead of you, I don't see that with the Star card energy. I see that the focus is where it is, which is within the connection, but be mindful. I mean, she still needs some healing. Is the same, I'm sure you could claim for yourself on your side of the fence. Okay, you guys both been through really bad divorces, you said. It makes sense. All right. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh my gosh. Right, but I meant give her space in the sense of like when you're on the phone with her. You know how like you can have a conversation with somebody that goes like, "Hey, yeah, what are you doing?" Blah blah blah, and then you can have another conversation and it's like, "Yeah, what did you think about that? What did you eat for dinner? And then where'd you go?" I don't, energetic space. Is what. Oh, I'm so sorry, Alphonse, to hear that. Your coworker and trainer passed. That's what I'm like. Oh. Um. Okay, so I don't see anything. I don't hear any. It's not even crickets from Cynthia. So I guess it wasn't meant to be this live stream. No worries. All right. Thank you guys. I'm tired AF and I want to go rest. Okay, so I'm gonna go do that, and I invite you to do the same. All right. And if you took nothing else from this session, please and thank you. Remember that you are worthy. Okay, and that you are most assuredly co-creating your experience here with divinity. All right. I love you guys. You're amazing. Thank you for everything. All right. And I look forward to the next time. Much love and light.